What's up guys, this is Hero bringing you guys a deck profile. I know I haven't posted a video in quite some time, but that's because of school. That's right, I'm in university, I'm third year chemistry student to boot, so it's kind of tough for me to have time in order to create content and stuff. I finally finished my Infernity deck. I know I promised you guys a deck profile a long time ago. I've actually been waiting for my last card for like a month now, but it finally arrived. So I'm just going to go through the deck. I'm going to go through maybe some short combos. We'll see. But for now, I'm just going to show you guys the deck. So here we go. Starting off with triple Infernity Arcfiend. Of course, he's basically what the deck revolves around. The deck basically revolves around getting special summoning this guy out as many times as possible with no cards in your hand, so you can search out your barriers and your breaks in order to disrupt your opponent's plays. So those are 3 Arcfiend. Next we have triple Necromancer. Necromancer brings back Arcfiend, so it's not too low about Necromancer. Obviously, if you want to try to special summon Arcfiend as much as possible, you want to use cards that bring him back as much as possible. So Necromancer does that for you, so 3 of him. Next we have 1 Armageddon Knight and 1 Dark Grepher. Basically, Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher serve the same purpose. They want to dump cards from your deck to the graveyard, Stygian Street Patrols and whatnot. However, sometimes your hand is pretty cloggy. You drew one too many monsters or something in order to be able to make your plays. So that's what Dark Grepher does. He allows you to dump a card from your hand in order to dump a card from your deck to the graveyard. So it's actually kind of win-win depending on what you dump with from your hand. But he's really, really good. Definitely 1 of each is the best. I see people running 2 Grepher, some people 2 Armageddon Knight. Really, the issue I see with that is that sometimes you really need to dump a monster with Grepher, or even if you open with, 2 Grepher or something that's really, really bad, it's going to be a tough time in order to play that hand out. So 1 Grepher and 1 Armageddon Knight is definitely the best ratio in my opinion. Next we have 2 Stygian Street Patrol. These guys, when you want to send them to the deck to the graveyard as soon as possible in order to banish them from the graveyard and to special summon 1 Fiend type monster. 1 Dark? Or is it a Fiend? 1 Fiend type monster from your hand with 2000 attack or less, which is everything in the deck. So you just basically you want to special summon Arcfiend, you can special summon Necromancer in order to start making your plays and going off. So 2 Stygian Street Patrol. 2 Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk is great, allows you to get out. Arcfiend allows you to get out. Dark Grepher, Armageddon Knight, depending what you need in order to send the correct cards to the graveyard in order to start making your plays. Basically, opening Monk and 2 spells, you just win. You just go off. Unless you have a Veiler or something that can't stop you, then you just won. So Summoner Monk is really, really good. And lastly, the 1 Eris. Arcfiend Eris, when it's sent to the graveyard from the deck or hand or field, when it's sent to the graveyard at all from anywhere, by a card effect, you can search out an Arcfiend card which can include Infernity Arcfiend and also the new field spell Arcfiend Palabyrinth. So that's what these 2 cards do. This one searches for that one, and then Arcfiend Palabyrinth is our first spell. Arcfiend Palabyrinth is a field spell. All your Fiend type monsters gain 500 attack points, and when you can target 1 Arcfiend card and 1 other Fiend type monster on your side of the field, so you can target Infernity Arcfiend and 1 other Fiend type. You banish the Fiend type monster and special summon an Arcfiend monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So you can special summon another Infernity Arcfiend, and if you have no cards in your hand, then that's another search. So this card basically turns your used up Necromancers, even this card, into a new Infernity Arcfiend and you search for a barrier or a break. So Arcfiend Palabyrinth is really, really good. It also makes your Arcfiends 2300, which is a lot harder to get run over. So just Arcfiend Palabyrinth is just one of the better additions to Infernities from Judgment of the Lake. Next we have one-ofs. Infernity Launcher, the one that we can run. Always run the maximum number of launchers you can run, which at this point is 1. 1 Transmodify, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Monster Gate, 1 Book of Moon, and 1 Foolish Burial. So 1 of Transmodify, I only run 1 simply because 2 can be really cloggy. If you draw 2, even 3, I see people run 3, and I'm really surprised that they have not noticed that when they open like 2 or more, it's actually just terrible. Transmodify, I see it just enough. I don't really, I rarely, never have I said, oh man, I wish this Monster Gate was a Transmodifier, or I wish this other card was a Transmodify, because I see it just enough in order to make best use of it. 1 Reinforcement of the Army to search out Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. Monster Gate is just a card that I really, really like. With a Lovable Chain, you can stack Arcfiend on top, and then you can Monster Gate something out that you don't need, and then guarantee yourself an Arcfiend search by special summoning the Arcfiend from the top of your deck. It also, you can just go for it, YOLO. You can send something and hope you can get an Arc Fiend from the top of your deck. 9 times out of 10 I use it. It's because I need a level 4 or something, or I need to swap a level 3 for a level 4 to continue making plays, or because I stacked with a level chain. So note that after you've used Arc Fiend Eris, the only level 3s that you have left in the deck are 3 Necromancer, and then from all the level 4s, if you need a level 4 to continue your plays, you can use Monster Gate. I mean, 9 times out of 10 you'll probably get that level 4 that you need, but I mean, most of the time I don't gamble with it. I go with the guaranteed play of throwing it on when I have a stacked Arc Fiend from Level Chain. And then Foolish Burial just to send cards to the graveyard. 2 Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is just to make Level Chain faster. That's really all there is to it. 2 Night Beam and triple MST for your back row removal. I mean, I play Night Beams because lately I was running 3, but I was kind of seeing it, like testing against dragons. Like I really wanted to see the MST for the Ravine and stuff, because the longer they keep out the Ravine, the tougher the game is gonna get. MST, that's why MST is at 3. Night Beam is at 2. I put it down to 2. I'm kind of seeing it too much against trap and spell light decks, such as dragons and stuff. It's pretty good, however, right now, because dragons and Prophecy even are starting to run Reckless Greed, and if you can hit a Reckless Greed with Night Beam, then it's like really, really good. Yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, MST is there simply because you need 3 MST. You want to get rid of back row, and same thing with Night Beam. You just want to get rid of back row. So 3 and 2 is the ratio that I'm playing with right now. I'm really liking the 2 Night Beam. They're really putting in work, especially against back row heavy decks. So I do have 5 cards that destroy back row. Next, we have 3 upstarts. 3 upstarts to round up our spell lineup. 3 upstarts are just here simply because the deck. You want to get your combo pieces as soon as possible, and having a 37 card deck helps with that. Traps, 1 Compulse, 1 Bottomless, 1 Warning. Basically, a new Trinity is Compulse, Bottomless, Warning. So obviously you want to run defensive traps. Run those. 2 Mirror Force, simply because people overextend and punishing them is fun. So 2 Mirror Force. Next, 2 Barrier. Barriers are the Infernity traps, the Infernity version of Solemn Judgment. When you have no cards in your hand and you can control an attack position Infernity monster, you can activate this card to negate the activation of an effect, spell, or trap and destroy it. So it's a Solemn Judgment when you control an attack position Infernity and when you have no cards in your hand, which is a lot easier than it sounds for those of you that have never actually played Infernities. And then lastly, we have 3 Break. Break is when you can have no cards in your hand, you can activate this card. You can target one Infernity card in your graveyard and 1 card that your opponent controls. You can destroy their opponent's card and then you banish your Infernity card. So you usually can banish. You can banish another copy of this. Any Infernity card. It doesn't have to be a monster. You can banish a used-up barrier, launcher, or whatever. So yeah, that's the deck. The main deck, at least. Go to the extra deck real quick. Rank 3s, I do run Zen mains because sometimes I just need to sit on something, and some decks are actually really prone to Zen mains. So I do run the Zen mains. 2 Leviair because there is a combo that revolves around 2 Leviair. 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. Evil Swarm Nightmare has been proving to be pretty good. It's good against dragons. It's good against heretics. Notice I didn't say Mermill. Mermill simply because it can just pike and kill it with heavy infantry, or anything really with heavy infantry. This card actually would chain to the effect, I think, simply because they are a turn player. So what this card does is when your opponent special summons, it requires 2 level 4 dark monsters, but you know, I run plenty of those. When your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach 1 from this card and you can flip it face down. You can Book of Moon it. So it's really good against cards such as a deck such as heretics. It's good against dragons. It's good against a lot of stuff, just here and there, that are basically depend on special summoning big monsters in order to get over this stuff. So it's 1950 attack defense. It's not the biggest. It's 950 attack. It's not the biggest card, but if you can protect it with your defensive traps, and your opponent, you know, tries to keep special summoning, and you just Book of Moon their stuff. I mean, you can even do it twice, and it's not once per turn, so it's pretty good. But it really disrupts your plays. It really, really does disrupt your plays. So You know, cards that you don't have to waste a barrier or break on. You can just break it and then run it over next turn probably or something. Mostly because they're in defense mode. But yeah, Evil Storm Nightmare has been pretty good. Cowboy, staples now: Cowboy, Dweller, Maestroke, Dire Wolf, Master Key Beetle. Gem Knight Pearl is here, just a placeholder for Black Ship of Corn. I'm just waiting for the reprint. That we all know what's going to happen in the tint. 2 Chain, and Evil Storm Ouroboros. Ouroboros is basically your Shockmaster replacement. And lastly, my instant fusion targets are just Flame Ghost and Dark Fire Dragon. Just for darks, because I can. And yeah, instant fusion targets level 3 and level 4. Lastly, side deck, I have 1 tour guide. Game 2, I take out a Summoner Monk for a tour guide simply because I don't auto lose to Veiler if I monk. If this gets Veilered, but I do if monk gets Veilered. So I just keep 1 in and then just put in 1 tour guide. Dark Hole, I side it. Obviously, I'm not gonna blow up my own shit. Like, this is a terrible top deck. In the late game, once you're like set up and stuff, you don't want to be drawing this. You also probably don't want to open with this if you're going first. So yeah. Defissure. Defissure is actually not too bad in this deck after you've been at least like had some setup, simply because it kind of works like windups where you just detach, and detaching doesn't get banished by dimensional fissure. So I sided this in my windups, for example, and it worked perfectly well. So just defissure against water mostly. EV for Prophecy, Soul Drain for Mermails and Dragons. 2 Trap Stun for Trap Heavy decks, Evil Storm, Black Wings and stuff. Trap Stun is good. 2 Deck Dev. I've been debating taking these out for stuff. Probably these are going to be coming out for DNA surgeries. Deck Dev, it's kind of for like water, I guess, to hit their infantries and marksmen and Gundys and stuff, but like it doesn't hit, basically it'll hit all their discard outlets. It'll just keep a bunch of Megals and Abystius in their hands. So it's not too bad. Hits hand traps as well, but like I don't know. We'll see. I don't know about deck dev. 2 Deep Prisons. Deep Prisons are just here because game 2 and 3, well, especially in game 2, if you win it, of course, are mostly more control, more grindy. So you just need the back row, the additional back row, in order to control the game. 2 Vanities because Dragons is good. And 2 Mind Drain because hand traps are good and you don't like those. So yeah, guys, this is the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's a long time coming, that's for sure. But I finally got it out. I finally finished the deck, and I will be playing it at my locals, and I'll be letting you guys know how I do. Thank you guys for watching. This is Hero. Peace out.